But the question for Congress, and I'm going to ask you to comment on this, is whether we're at a point where taxpayers are being well served when taxpayers are continuing to provide subsidies for a business-as-usual energy policy that's based on a carbon energy 19th century approach versus a clean and renewable energy fuel policy of the 21st century that we need. And the question really is, should taxpayers in the United States continue to provide billions of dollars of subsidies to an industry, the oil industry, that's mature, to an oil industry that's extremely profitable, into an industry that's based on a carbon-based fuel? Or is it time, finally, for the taxpayer incentives that are being steered to the oil industry to be redirected to efforts to develop a 21st century clean energy economy? Mr. Tillotson, my understanding just on a specific tax provision is that Section 199 of the Domestic Manufacturing Deduction provides a tax rate reduction for oil and gas companies. Repealing that would shift $17.3 billion from oil companies, and it could be redirected to clean energy efforts, which your company engages in to some extent. Would you support the repeal and redirection of that?
No, Congressman, I would not. The Section 199 tax was put in place to preserve and protect manufacturing jobs in the United States.
All right.
I'm not sure how to explain to a refinery worker why his job isn't any more or less important than an automotive worker's job.
This is not about whose job is important. The jobs that are important are the folks that are down there in the Gulf Coast and are losing their jobs because of this catastrophe that just happened. This is about whether taxpayer subsidies are going to help Americans get jobs in an energy policy for the future. Mr. Watson of Chevron, I'll ask you. My understanding is the tax code right now provides oil and gas companies to expense intangible drilling costs. That costs taxpayers $7.8 billion over 10 years. Do you support continuing that, or would you support repealing it or redirecting it to clean energy efforts?
I support continuing it, and I don't consider it a subsidy. I consider it similar to many other provisions in the tax code that dictate the timing of the deduction.
Well, you know, I have one question. I believe in tax incentives, but I question whether they should go to mature industries and industries that are profitable. They've managed to get their sea legs, and your industry enjoyed profits of $68 billion, hard work of a lot of people. But do we need in America to be starting to use taxpayer money, which is what these subsidies are, to help us move to a clean energy economy that's sustainable and does not have the risk of these catastrophes that are causing people their lives and their livelihoods?